We had a rule that's been in place for 6 years, finally being enforced for the first time over the weekend. 13 minutes into the game at Anfield, we had our first VAR controversy of the season. We had a goalkeeper punished for the first time for holding onto the ball for longer than 8 seconds with a red card at Villa Park. Perhaps there should have been a penalty for Manchester United. The Premier League is back, baby! Anyway, welcome to Tartan Geo. This is my review of the Premier League weekend. Plus, I've got my own controversy. I'm introducing a new feature to this series across the season, which will be at the end of the show. But first, let's talk about all the action from the Stadium of Light. Finished Sunderland 3, my team, West Ham United 0. The first half, we edged it. I thought we were a slightly better team. We were unlucky not to be a goal up after Juve beat Roofs, but just well defended by Ballard on the line. But in the second half, it was all one-way traffic. It was all Sunderland. They deserved to win by the end of the game. 2 great crosses, 2 great headers. First of all by Mayanda, who hadn't really seen much of the ball at all until that point. Then Ballard, who was an obvious target for everyone, bar West Ham. Everyone thought Ballard would be a target for crosses and corners, except West Ham. He scored a fantastic header, then they made it 3-0 right at the end. But this is exactly what Sunderland needed. It was a good team performance. There was a lot of good individual players for Sunderland. They deserved the 3 points. I've got no complaints about it at all. Well, I've got a lot of complaints about West Ham, but in regards to them winning the match, they deserved it. For us, it was worrying. While we edged it in the first half, I think a lot of it could be put down to Sunderland just been a bit nervous. They didn't start as quick as I thought they would. I think they were a little bit cautious with it being the first time back in the Premier League. They're a little bit standoffish. Second half, that disappeared. But as a result of that first half, I think it made us look maybe better, more comfortable than we were. But after the first goal, just total capitulation by us. There was no fight. There was no energy. Nothing. It was quite worrying what I witnessed, actually. But good win. And a deserved win for Sunderland. Then off to Old Trafford. Finished 1-0 Arsenal. I thought Man U played all right, you know. I thought Man United were the better team for me. I thought they were a bit unlucky to leave that game empty-handed. Now, I've seen Arsenal go to Old Trafford over the years, play well, be the better team and come away with nothing. Right, so this is just a roles reversal here. But I think Man U fans could possibly be encouraged by that. There's a big belief that they need a new goalkeeper. I think Man U fans think that. I think neutrals think that. And they got a reminder with that goal that they conceded. It's not a foul for me. I think Saliba is, in the way of the goalkeeper. I don't think there's enough contact. I'd want my goalkeeper to be stronger there. I'd want the defenders around my goalkeeper to be stronger there. Football's a physical contact game. You can't just rule it out for every nudge. So for me, it's not, that goal should have stood. I was pleased to see it stand, but I did think Man U should have had a pen. That Saliba on Cunha in the second half, where he sort of kicks him in the back of the legs, I'm surprised VAR didn't instruct the referee to go have a look at that one. 100% a penalty for me as far as I'm concerned. But a lot of encouragement there for Man U. I think Cunha looked good and Bournemouth looked good. They can get a new goalkeeper. I think that would help them a lot. I thought De Ligt had one of his best games in a Man United shirt for me. Gyökeres, a lot being made out of him because he didn't play very well. It's his first game for Arsenal. I'm not too concerned about it. And for those unaware, I'm not 100% convinced by that transfer. But I'm not reading anything into that performance. I'd be more worried, if I'm completely honest, if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be more worried about Odegaard's performance than Gyökeres. I think with Odegaard, you've seen the same things that you've seen last season, where he was just underwhelming, killing a lot of the attacks with poor decisions. Whereas Gyökeres, I think it's fair to expect him to improve. But even though Arsenal won, and it's a good win for them, an important win for them, it's a tough fixture for them to start with. I feel like Man U fans could come away feeling all right, actually, about what lies ahead this season. Right, before we discuss Anfield and all the other games, if you're new to Tartan Geo, please do subscribe and also do drop a like on the video by clicking thumbs up. Your support, whether you're subscribing for the first time or you're clicking a like on the video for the first time or 10th time, both things are free, it takes 2 seconds, and your support helps the channel out. So a massive thank you to everybody that does get involved. Also, give me your comments. Let me know what you think on the Premier League over the weekend. Get involved in the comments below. Don't be shy. I do read every single one of them. I reply to at least half of them. So come and have a chat with me. Now, for those that are new to the channel, I discuss the games I've watched first. And I make it clear which games I've watched and not watched. I dislike it when I listen to pundits and journalists discussing games where it feels quite obvious they've not watched it. And also, does anyone watch all 10 Premier League games across the weekend? I'd be very surprised. I imagine there's a few that do it, but I think they're few and far between, right? So I watched the West Ham game, I watched the Man U Arsenal game, I watched the Liverpool game, and I'll keep on telling you as we go, because it feeds into my new feature at the end. Right, Liverpool 4, Bournemouth 2. This was a great way to open the Premier League campaign. Liverpool went 2-0 up without too much bother, really. Then a sort of Semenyo-inspired comeback made it 2-2 before Liverpool won late on. But I'm going to go talk about the controversy at the very start of the game, 13 minutes in. I think there's a lot of blagging going on, I think, sometimes with VAR. And that's from the referee's perspective, the PGMOL perspective. Because when it happened, the commentators were saying, oh, VAR believes the ball bounced off Senesi and onto his arm. Therefore, they're not getting involved. They've not instructed the referee to go have a look. Then when the replays became very clear, he hit it with his finger when he swiped at it. Because in real time, it looked like he missed it a little bit. And from one angle, it did look like he missed it. But from the other two angles, you can clearly see the spin of the ball change. You can see him make contact with a finger on the ball. But then the messaging came out, well, actually, because of the distance from the incident to the goal, that's why the referee wasn't called in. It was deemed too far away. I ain't buying that at all. Because first of all, the messaging's changed. And second of all, yeah, he's on the halfway line, but it doesn't mean you're not through and goal. You can still be through and goal. If that's your thing, if you're going to lay down a marker on the first game of the season, basically say anything that happens on the halfway line is too far away from goal, then you've got to be consistent with that. I can recall incidents last season. Lewis Skelly did it. He hacked someone down. I've got a feeling it was against us, but I could be wrong. Lewis Skelly hacked someone down on the halfway line. I think it was against us with Kudus. But Arsenal did it against Bournemouth as well. Was it Saliba? Grabbed it, Evan Nielsen, and pulled him down. And then went to VAR and he got sent off because Evan Nielsen was now beyond the defence running in. But he was way up the pitch, quite wide as well. If you're through and goal, you're through and goal. Whether you're on the halfway line or you're on the edge of the box, to me, distance to goal, it should be a contributing factor, of course. But I think the bigger deciding factors need to be the defence. Are they likely to get back in and recover? And I'm not so sure in this instance. I think Ekitike, there was another Bournemouth player there. I can't remember. I'm going to assume it was maybe, well, it would either be Trufer or Diakite. So it would have been one of them. Don't know. That for me should have been up to the referee to go decide. I think they just didn't see the handball. I thought when they first looked at it, they decided he didn't make contact with his hand. They've looked at it later on and it's become obvious that he did, and they've just sort of blagged it a little bit. But fantastic game, great performance by Bournemouth. Not so good by Liverpool, but they still won 4-2 in the end. A great moment for Chiesa. I like it when players make moments for themselves. Players like that who are on the brink of the team and they have been for a while. You just need a moment. You just need something that says, here you go, this is what I can do. And he got that. Liverpool are going to have a few teething problems. Konate and Van Dijk were both awful in that game, completely awful. So whoever's playing Liverpool over the next few weeks, you might be able to get a few opportunities to score. I think it'll be a little while before they keep clean sheets on a consecutive basis. They look a bit more open, Liverpool. Should leave for a lot more entertaining games. But 6 goals at Anfield, I ain't going to complain. No goals still in the PSR derby. It finished Aston Villa 0, Newcastle United 0. Both sets of fans singing about PSR. The clubs are they've been investigated for the fans chanting about PSR. Just leave it out. It's already difficult enough for these two clubs. I have a lot of sympathy for them, 100%. I agree with what the fans are singing as well. Ramsey's gone to Newcastle now. And John McGinn's left a comment about, like, it shouldn't have to be like this, but that's the way modern football is. And Tyrone Mings has left one saying, no one give Ramsey criticism, you don't know what's going on. Both alluding to the fact that they don't want to sell Ramsey. Villa doesn't want to sell Ramsey. Perhaps Ramsey doesn't even want to go, really, but he's been told we need you to because of PSR. What a horrible situation. And it's not like these are unsuccessful clubs. in the last 24 months, both of these teams have enjoyed a Champions League campaign. This season, Newcastle are in the Champions League. Villa are not, but they're still in the Europa League. So in terms of money coming in, they're pretty much as good as it can get, right? Playing at the Europeans elite. But both clubs are struggling to compete in the transfer window because they're not allowed to because of PSR restrictions. Anyway, that's the biggest talking point from the game, really. There wasn't much in it. I thought Newcastle were much more comfortable. I thought they were the much better team. And I'm talking 11v11 before the red card. I thought Villa didn't lay a glove on Newcastle for the whole game, really. The red card, it's a red card for me. I think Konsa doesn't need to do that. I think he could have let Gordon go and possibly recovered to put enough pressure on him. So it was a red card. Arguably, given it finished 0-0, you could say it was the right thing to do. But I actually thought the best player on their pitch was the Villa goalkeeper, which I think says it all. Newcastle just lacking that bit of cutting edge. They had a lot of the ball, a lot of half chances, bar Alanga. That was a huge chance. I think Newcastle will feel like that was 2 points dropped, and I would be inclined to agree. Villa just a bit flat. It finished 4-0 Manchester City at the Molineux. I watched those two games as well, by the way. Wolves made a game of it. I don't think Wolves were terrible. 4-0 would suggest they got smashed. Well, they did. It was 4-0. But it would suggest that Wolves were bad. I think they were just outclassed. I think there was just moments of brilliance in the Man City game where it was quick play, fast attacking football by Man City. They just cut Wolves apart and then they were clinical. I think it was a really good performance from Man City. I think it felt a little bit like old Man City, but just arguably different. I still can't shake the appointment of Pep Lijnders, who was at Liverpool under Klopp, with that sort of counter-attacking, chaos, heavy metal football philosophy. I do think we're going to see a bit of that at Man City, and there was a couple of goals they scored at the weekend. Counter-attacking football, quick. I like it. Lijnders obviously stealing the headlines with his debut. Haaland grabbing a couple of goals, which is good for me. Captained him on FPL. I'm not going to lie. I was cursing at the TV in stoppage time at Anfield on Friday. Salah did nothing all game. Bang, gets a goal because Clint Hill lets it bounce for some reason. I'm watching, I'm thinking, oh, come on, this guy's not been good all game yet. He racks up with a goal. But Haaland bagged a brace for me. So, right decision so far to go Haaland over Salah. So far. Comfortable win for Man City. Moving on to the Forest Ground. Now, I didn't watch this game live, but I ended up watching it back because we're playing my team, West Ham, playing Nottingham Forest in a couple of weeks. So, as a result, I prioritised the Chelsea game because I thought we're playing Chelsea next. So, let's watch the Chelsea Palace game. And then I'll catch up with the Forest one later. Should have done it the other way around, really. But I wasn't to know it was going to finish 3-1 at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest, who'd scored one goal all pre-season, were 3-0 up at half-time. They were fantastic, absolutely brilliant, just dominated Brentford from start to finish. Great game of football, nice football on display. The best performance of the weekend for me was Nottingham Forest. They had absolutely everything that you want in a football team. They had a bit of passage of play, which ended up... can't recall who it was. Someone took a shot and it hit a Brentford defender on the arse. But the build up to that, with down the right hand side, ended up with Anderson sort of flicking around the corner for someone who had the shot, possibly Endoy. It was that area of the pitch. Just fantastic football. I really enjoyed it. Chris Wood back in the goals, 2 goals again. He started the season as he started last season, where he scores 2 goals. You think it's fair, but the first one was a really smart finish. The second one, the run is just fantastic. A misplaced loose ball in the middle of the pitch, but before Anderson touches it, Wood turns and runs. The Brentford defence are static. They're just watching the ball. Chris Wood doesn't. Chris Wood sees that ball going to Anderson, turns. He knows that guy can find me. Beautiful pass from Anderson, rounds the keeper. Well, he made it 3-0 at that point. And Doy with his goal on his debut. First Swiss player to score on his debut in the Premier League. Thiago got his goal with a penalty. Well, it was a penalty. I've got absolutely no complaints about that. But a nice, comfortable 3-1 win for Nottingham Forest. They've had a very good week off the pitch. They've also had a really good weekend on the pitch too. Chelsea 0, Crystal Palace 0. I mean, this rule, right, we've got to discuss it because it's very easy to find examples of where it should have been implemented, but it wasn't. So it looked, and this is what I mean about the whole Premier League blagging it, right? So Eze hits his free kick, flies in. Then the referee goes to the monitor. And again, it's coming through from the people that do the commentary who can listen in on the VAR discussion. They're meant to inform you. They're basically saying it's because Mark Gay's pushed, I think it's Cucurella, out the way. That's why the referee's been to look at it. Then it comes out, actually, no, it's not. It's because Gay's within 1 metre of the wall, which has been a rule since 2019, right? So I know, I appreciate, by the way, it's called laws of the game. I always just say rules. So within the laws of the game, it's a foul. Okay, fine. But my issue here isn't necessarily is it a foul, because yes, my issue here is it's never been implemented. 6 years that law has been in place and never once has it been used by the referee. Chelsea last season against Bournemouth scored a free kick in stoppage time to make it 2-2. Reece James scored it. You go watch that back. They're in the wall. They're touching the Bournemouth players in the wall. It's just another one of these examples where it's just bollocks. It's just lack of consistency from those in charge of the game. It just frustrates the living daylights out of me. And I'm certain, I am absolutely certain we're going to see it this season with this new 8-second rule. Howard Webb was explaining it on Sky Sports, which shouldn't take, it's not difficult to work out. Keeper, once the referee deems the goalkeeper has full control of the ball, he's got 8 seconds to release it, otherwise it's a corner, right? Howard Webb's terminology was round about 8 seconds. Well, hang on a minute. What do you mean round about 8 seconds? Is it 7? Is it 8? Is it 9? What is it? I appreciate the referee can't count to 8 accurate. It's a much harder thing to do than you think, to count to 8 seconds bang on. So it's going to be, but to hear the guy in charge of all this say something so loosely as roundabout, I just know we're going to see examples this season. There's going to be an example where the keeper picks the ball up and it's going to be 7 seconds and the referee is going to go corner, ball's going to come in, bang, goal. And it's going to be there on Sky Sports with the timer starting and the goalkeeper doesn't actually hold on to it for 8 seconds and the corner goes against him and they score from it. And I just know there's going to be examples where the keeper does hold on to it and it goes to 9-10 seconds and it goes unpunished. He leathers it down the pitch and it leads to a goal. And be, hang on a minute, that shouldn't have stood. That should have been a corner. No, I like the rule. I actually like it. Law. I like the law. Only 8 seconds. That is good. It forces the keeper to do something. If the team don't get out the box, you just got to belt it down the pitch and get rid of it. I like it. During the Club World Cup, I liked it. What I don't like is I am certain there's just going to be more controversy in the Premier League as a result of it. Moving to the 2 games I didn't watch. So out of all the games, 9 games over the weekend, I didn't watch 2 of them. Spurs 3, Burnley 0. They were just on at the same time as West Ham were playing. Richarlison, splendid, isn't it? That bicycle kick. I'm a big Richarlison fanboy. I always have been. I've been a big fan of him. I think he might suit Thomas Frank's football. Easy to say after he scored 2 goals, but pardon me, 2 goals from him, 2 assists from Kudus, who's going to be a good signing for Spurs. For Burnley, it's the worst possible start, really, isn't it? For a team that did well in Championship and got promoted off the back of a really good defence, what you don't want to do is concede 3 in the opening game of the season. It came across, I've only seen the highlights, it came across as quite an easy enough day at the office for Spurs. So if you watched the game, let me know in the comments below. I've never seen it, and I also didn't see Brighton Fulham, which finished 1-1, although I will say it should have been a pen to Fulham. Ayari kicked the back of King's foot as far as I'm concerned. That was a pen, so I don't know how the referee didn't even get sent to the monitor for it. But it looked like a decent enough game. Fantastic scenes for Fulham at the end there where Mooney scored in stoppage time, who may not leave yet. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Time for my last part, my new part. It's Team of the Week, Geo style. And the reason it's Geo style is because I have another issue with pundits and journalists, right? I've quite a few. Just like a lot of people will have an issue with me chatting nonsense on the webcam. I'm okay with it. But here's something I dislike. When they do Team of the Week and they've not watched all the games, right? How can you pick that player if you've not watched a game? Or how can you leave that player out if you've not watched a game? So, in the interest of transparency, we've established which games I've seen. I'm going to pick my Team of the Week now based on the games I've seen. So I cannot have Spurs or Burnley. And I promise you it's not an anti-Kudus thing. I promise you it's not an anti-Spurs thing, right? The Spurs are on next week and I watch them. I will be open to including those players in my Team of the Week. Promise you. So I can't have Spurs, I can't have Burnley, I can't have Brighton, I can't have Fulham. Because I've not watched them enough. I don't know. I mean, I could put Richarlison in on the back of his goals or Kudus in because of his assists. But for all I know, that's all they did. I don't know. I think I made it clear. Here is Gio's Team of the Week based on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games that I've seen. In goal, I'm going to go Bizot of Villa. Possibly should be Raya. He made the most saves over the weekend. 7 saves, a couple of really good ones. But I thought there was a few easy enough ones for him. But when I was watching the Villa game, I was impressed by him. Never heard of him, to be honest with you. By the way, I'll tell you something that threw me out when I was watching the highlights of the Fulham game. Tom Kearney. I thought he'd left. Came up that Tom Kearney came on. I was like, hang on a minute. That's either a typo or he's still a Fulham player. There he was, running around. I thought he'd left. I was confused. I thought I was watching Brighton Fulham highlights of last season for a minute there. Especially with James Milner on the pitch as well. Was it 27 seasons now? 27 consecutive seasons? Just incredible. So I'm going to go Bizot in goal. I liked what I've seen from him, the Villa goalkeeper. I thought he was quite assured. A really good save from Malanga early on that would have changed the game. I liked it. Now I'm going to go 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 every week. I'm just always going to do that. I think you can adapt a wing back to a full back, right? It's easier to do that than anything else. Centre backs, I'm going to go Dan Ballard. I've got to. Listen, even fantastic goal. Defensively, I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was man of the match on Saturday against us, to be honest with you. And next to him, I'm going to put Chempong. Is that how you say his name? Chempong. The Chelsea defender. Got a bit of a surprise start, actually. I didn't think he would, but I thought he handled what he had to do really well because he was put under pressure quite a few times as well because the way Chelsea play and the way Crystal Palace play, often he was up against Eze or Mateta or Sarr. I thought he handled them brilliantly. I thought it was a fantastic performance from him. So them two as centre-backs. Now, my full-backs, I'm not that keen on, right? I don't really think anyone stood out for me, so I'm putting them in, but if you disagree, I'm not going to be offended. Left-back, Dorgu. Genuinely, not even taking piss. Thought he had a good game for Man U down that left-hand side. Hit the post, but kept Saka really quiet. I liked what I've seen from him. And on the right, I'm going to go Rico Lewis. Just lack of options, but he played well, looked comfortable, got an assist. Nottingham Forest might find it difficult to buy him now after that game. In midfield, obviously, Reinders goes in there, Man City. Anderson of Nottingham Forest, thought he was superb. But I'm a big Elliot Anderson fan, which makes me think, am I overrating him? Not on this occasion. Fantastic. And also Diarra of Sunderland. I thought he was brilliant. I thought his energy, his legs in midfield, on his debut as well, first game in the Premier League, I thought he was superb against us, and he was exactly what we didn't have. So Reinders, Diarra and Anderson in midfield. Got to have Semenyo, 2 goals. That second goal was stunning as well. Gonna go Gakpo. Thought he had a good game for Liverpool. I thought he played well. And then up front, Chris Wood. It's got to be Chris Wood, isn't it? 2 goals. Unless you're a Spurs fan, but as we've established, didn't watch it. Anyway, there you go. Get involved in the comments below. Don't be shy, and I shall catch up with you in a bit.